Imagine this. The lights fade, the crowd goes silent, and Cristiano Ronaldo steps forward. Not to play, but to speak. What he says next is not about football. It is about life, hunger, and the fire to never give up. Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo's life advice that could leave the world speechless. When people look at me today, they see the trophies, the goals, the celebrations, the cars, the fame. But that is not where I began. What you see now is the result of years of sacrifice, pain, and belief that never broke, no matter how difficult life became. When I was a boy in Madeira, I did not have much. My family worked very hard just to keep food on the table. Many nights, my mother went to sleep hungry so that my siblings and I could eat. That is where my hunger was born. Not just hunger for food, but hunger for life. Hunger to become something more than what my surroundings told me I could be. I remember playing football on the streets, barefoot, chasing the ball like it was my only purpose in life. Because in many ways it was. Football was not just a game for me. It was my escape, my dream, my weapon against poverty. I told myself that one day I would make it. One day I would play for the biggest clubs in the world. One day people would know my name. But dreams mean nothing without action. Every dream requires pain. Every goal demands sacrifice. There were days when I trained until my legs could no longer move. When my body screamed to stop. But I did not stop. Because in those moments, I remembered my family, my mother, my father, my island, and the people who told me that I would not succeed. People laughed at me. They said I was too skinny, too emotional, too ambitious. But when you truly want something, when it burns inside your heart, no one can stop you. You have to trust yourself when no one else does. You have to keep going when no one is watching. That is what separates ordinary people from champions. Discipline became my best friend. Every single day I woke up with purpose. While others slept, I trained. While others partied, I focused. I gave up things that most people enjoy because I wanted something greater. And if you ask me today, was it worth it? I will say yes, every single time. Because the pain of discipline is always smaller than the pain of regret. You see, success is not about talent alone. Talent gives you a start, but hard work keeps you there. Many players had more talent than I did, but they did not have my mentality. They did not have my obsession with improvement. They did not have my hunger to be the best every single day. I believe that mindset is everything. Your mind can either destroy you or make you unstoppable. I trained my mind the same way I trained my body. Every day I visualized success. I imagined lifting trophies, scoring goals, and hearing the crowd chant my name. But I also imagined failure. I imagined the pain of losing, the shame of giving up. And I told myself that is not who I am. You cannot expect the world to give you anything. Life does not owe you success. You must fight for it. You must bleed for it. You must work for it when nobody believes in you. That is the only way you will ever achieve something truly great. I have learned that success has a price. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you relationships. But if you want to become extraordinary, that is the price you must pay. There are no shortcuts. There are no excuses. When I left my home at 12 years old to go to Lisbon, I cried every night. I missed my family, my friends, my island. But I knew that if I stayed, I would never grow. Sometimes you have to leave the people and places you love the most to become the person you are meant to be. Growth begins where comfort ends. Many people only see the final result. They do not see the endless nights, the failures, the tears. They do not see the kid who was told he would never make it. They do not see the lonely boy who trained alone under the streetlights. They only see the man lifting trophies. But let me tell you something. If you want to build a strong life, you must learn to love the struggle. Every failure teaches you something. Every loss makes you sharper. Every time you fall, you must rise stronger. People often ask me, Cristiano, what is the secret? The truth is, there is no secret. The only secret is work. Every single day. When you feel tired, work. When you feel broken, work. When you feel you have done enough, work even more. Because that is the difference between good and great. I never compared myself to others. I compared myself to who I was yesterday. That is how you grow. You must fight the person in the mirror every single day. You must challenge yourself to improve, even when you are already winning. I have played with and against the best in the world. But my biggest opponent has always been my own mind. It will try to make you weak. It will try to make you comfortable. It will tell you to stop. But you must control it before it controls you. Life will not always be fair. People will doubt you. They will criticize you. They will hate you for no reason. But you cannot let that noise affect your vision. You cannot let their words define your worth. You have to keep your focus on your purpose. Because at the end of the day, it is not about proving them wrong. It is about proving yourself right. Remember this, greatness is not given, it is earned. Every day you have a choice. You can be average, or you can be exceptional. You can live with excuses, or you can live with results. The decision is yours. And if you are watching this, I want you to understand, I am not special. I am just a man who refused to give up. I am a man who believed in his dream so much that he was willing to suffer for it. You can do the same. You can build your own legacy. But the question is, how bad do you want it? There is one thing I have noticed again and again. Many people want success, but they do not know what they truly want. They want to achieve something great, but they do not even know which direction they should take. They wake up every day confused, asking themselves, should I become this or that? Should I chase money or passion? Should I take the safe path or the risky one? Let me tell you something very important. Indecision is the enemy of progress. When you do not decide who you want to be, life will decide for you. And life does not always choose in your favor. You must take control of your own destiny before the world shapes it for you. When I was a boy, I had one dream: football. That was it. I did not have a backup plan. I did not have another dream waiting behind the first one. People told me, Cristiano, you should think about school. You should think about another career. But deep inside, I already knew. I knew I was born for this. I knew football was not just something I liked. It was who I was. When you find something that sets your soul on fire, you must protect it. You must give everything to it. Most people never find that thing because they never commit long enough to discover it. They keep jumping from one thing to another, always looking for comfort, always running away when things get hard. But you cannot build greatness on half decisions. If you want to find your path, you must ask yourself the hardest question. What would I do even if I was guaranteed to fail? Because that answer reveals your truth. That answer shows what you really care about. If your dream depends only on success, then it is not strong enough to survive. When I started, I did not think about fame or money. I thought about becoming better every single day. I thought about scoring one more goal than yesterday. I thought about making my family proud. That purpose kept me alive through every challenge. You see, many people today are lost because they chase too many things at once. They want success in business, in sports, in content, in everything. They want to be everything, but end up being nothing. The truth is simple. You cannot go in every direction and expect to reach your destination. Focus is power. Without focus, your energy is wasted. When you decide what you want, the world starts to open up for you. Opportunities begin to appear, but they appear only when you have made a clear decision. Confusion creates delay. Clarity creates momentum. That is why before you chase your dream, you must decide what your dream really is. And yes, that decision will scare you. Because once you decide, there is no one else to blame. Once you say, this is my path, you cannot hide behind excuses anymore. But that is what separates those who achieve from those who only wish. You have to ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? Do I want an easy life, or do I want a meaningful life? Because they are not the same. Easy will never make you proud. Easy will never make you remembered. The path that defines you is the one that tests you. When I chose football, I knew it would not be easy. I knew it would break me many times. But I also knew that if I stayed true to it, it would give me something no other path could. Purpose. Purpose is what keeps you moving when motivation dies. Purpose is what makes you train when no one is watching. Purpose is what keeps you strong when the world doubts you. If you are unsure about what you want to do, stop looking for the perfect option. Start doing something. Take a step. Life reveals the way to those who move. You will never find your passion by waiting for it to appear. You find it by doing, by failing, by learning, by feeling what excites you and what drains you. Too many people are afraid to choose because they are afraid to fail. But not choosing is already failure. It is failure disguised as comfort. If you do not make a choice, 10 years from now, you will look back and realize you wasted time waiting for certainty that never came. I want you to understand this. Clarity is not something you find. It is something you build. You build it by trying, by making mistakes, by learning from pain. Every great person you admire once stood where you are now, uncertain, scared, confused. The only difference is that they moved forward anyway. When you make a decision, protect it. People will question you. They will say you are dreaming too big, that you are wasting your time. But the moment you start listening to the noise, you lose control of your vision. Do not let other people decide the limits of your life. I made my choice early. And because of that, every action, every decision, every sacrifice had meaning. When you know where you are going, even pain becomes easier to carry. But when you live without direction, even comfort feels empty. Sometimes people ask me, Cristiano, what if I make the wrong choice? I tell them, there is no wrong choice if you commit with all your heart. The wrong choice is doing nothing. Every path you take will teach you something valuable. Even failure will shape you, prepare you, and make you stronger. You cannot wait for certainty. Life does not work like that. You must take the first step with faith. You must trust that if you move with honesty, passion, and discipline, the path will lead you where you are meant to be. When you find your passion, it will test you. It will demand everything. It will push you to your limits. But if you stay with it, it will reward you with purpose, pride, and peace. Remember, the world respects those who decide. The world follows those who lead their own lives with clarity. Do not waste years standing in the middle. Choose, commit, move. Because the only thing more painful than failure is regret for the chances you never took. When I decided to give everything to football, people around me began to question my decision. They said, Cristiano, what if you do not make it? What if you get injured? What if football does not work out for you? What is your plan B? I remember those words very clearly. I remember the tone of fear behind them. But I also remember how I felt when I heard that question. Because I knew, deep inside, that I could never have a plan B. I did not want one. People think that plan B is safety. But most of the time, it is a distraction. It is the comfort that stops you from giving everything to plan A. I always believed that if you already have something to fall back on, you will never fight with full strength for the dream in front of you. When you truly want something, there is no backup. There is no escape route. There is only forward. That is how I lived my life. I did not allow myself to think, what if I fail? I asked, what must I do to succeed? Fear of failure is what kills more dreams than failure itself. Many people never even start because they are too busy protecting themselves from what could go wrong. But success only comes when you risk everything for something that matters. When I was young, I did not have a big education. I did not come from wealth. All I had was a football and a belief. I told myself, this is my chance. This is my path. If I failed, then I would fail knowing I gave everything. But I would never forgive myself if I failed, because I was afraid to try. You cannot chase greatness while holding the door open for your fears. You must close that door completely. You must tell yourself, there is no way back. Only then will you discover how strong you really are. When people said, Cristiano, you should have a plan B, what they really meant was, we are afraid for you. But I was not afraid, because I knew that fear cannot live where belief is strong. I trusted my preparation, my discipline, my hunger. I knew that if I gave my whole heart, life would reward me in its own way. Having no plan B does not mean being foolish. It means being committed. It means burning the bridges behind you so that the only direction left is forward. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they always keep a back door open. They always prepare to quit instead of preparing to win. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot fully commit to your dream while keeping another dream as your backup. You must decide. Either you will give everything or nothing. Half effort never builds legends. When I was training in the academy, I used to think, if I stop now, I will go back to nothing. That thought alone pushed me harder. It reminded me that my only option was progress. My only option was victory. That kind of pressure is not weakness. That is power. It forces you to rise above every obstacle. People say, but what if it does not work out? My answer is simple. You will find a way. The human spirit is stronger than failure. The problem is not that people fall. The problem is that they give up the moment things become difficult. I faced many moments where things did not go as planned. I cried. I failed. I lost. But I never stopped. I never thought, maybe I should do something else. Because I knew that one bad season, one failure, does not define me. My effort defines me. My persistence defines me. If you spend your life preparing for what could go wrong, you will never experience what could go right. You cannot live in fear of losing. Losing is part of life. It teaches you, shapes you, makes you sharper. Without failure, success would mean nothing. Every great player, every successful person I have met had one thing in common. They were all in. No plan B, no hesitation. Just full commitment. That is why they reached where others could not. I understand that not everyone can live like that. It takes courage to walk without a safety net. But courage is exactly what separates dreamers from doers. You have to risk being uncomfortable if you want to become something extraordinary. When I look back now, I realized that the absence of a plan B made me fearless. It gave me no choice but to fight harder. It forced me to improve every single day because I knew there was nothing else for me. That kind of focus changes you. It removes distractions. It silences doubts. It turns fear into energy. Every training session, every goal, every moment of pain, I carried the thought that this is my only path, and I must make it work. So when people ask, "What if you had failed?" I smile. Because failure is not the end unless you stop trying. If I had fallen, I would have stood up again. If one door had closed, I would have broken another one open. That is what belief does. It gives you resilience. You see, plan B is often not a plan. It is an excuse. It is the voice in your head that whispers, "It is okay if you quit." But champions do not listen to that voice. Champions silence it with action. If you truly want to succeed, make your dream your only option. Make it your air, your reason, your obsession. Because when there is no way out, your mind becomes powerful beyond imagination. You start to think differently, act differently, move differently. You stop waiting for luck and start creating your own. And that is what I did. I created my own path. I built my future with the belief that if I gave everything to football, the world would have to notice. And it did. So to everyone who listens to me today, I want to say this. Stop preparing to fail. Stop waiting for guarantees. Choose your dream, commit to it, and never look back. You will make mistakes. You will fall. But if you keep moving forward, you will win in the end. Because the truth is simple. Success belongs to those who have no plan B. Many times people told me, "Cristiano, sometimes luck decides everything. You can work as hard as you want, but if luck is not on your side, you will not make it." That is why you should always have a plan B. I listened to them with respect, but I never believed that. I do not believe in luck the way most people do. Luck is not something that just appears from the sky. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you are not prepared, luck will pass you by every single time. When people say, "You were lucky," they do not see the nights I spent training while everyone else slept. They do not see the pain, the sacrifice, the loneliness. That is not luck. That is work. That is discipline. That is persistence. Luck might give you a chance once, but discipline gives you chances every day. That is why I never waited for luck to come. I created my own. I have seen many players who were more talented than me. They had beautiful skills, faster feet, natural talent. But they waited for luck to take them somewhere. They waited for someone to notice them. They waited for life to open doors for them. And while they were waiting, I was working. That is why I went forward and they stayed behind. When you depend on luck, you give your power away. You start believing that your life is not in your control. You start thinking that your success depends on something you cannot see or touch. But the truth is, everything you want is already in your hands. Your focus, your effort, your time, your choices. That is all the luck you need. People told me, "Cristiano, you need to be realistic. Not everyone gets to play football for a living. What if destiny does not support you?" And I told them, then I will change my destiny. Because I never wanted to live waiting for the right moment. I wanted to make every moment right. You cannot sit and wait for life to be kind to you. Life is not a game of luck. Life is a test of belief. The stronger your belief, the more doors you will open. I have learned that people who rely on luck usually do not believe in themselves enough. They prepare to be victims of circumstance instead of creators of change. Let me tell you something. Even when life seems unfair, your reaction decides what happens next. Every setback can destroy you or shape you. Every failure can end you or build you. The choice is always yours. Yes, sometimes things will go wrong. Sometimes, no matter how much effort you put in, you will lose. But that does not mean you were unlucky. That means you are being prepared for something bigger. Life will not give you what you want immediately, because it wants to see if you are truly ready to hold it. I have seen players who gave up after one injury, one rejection, one disappointment. They said, "I was unlucky," but I call that a lie people tell themselves to feel better. Because deep down, They know they stopped fighting. They use luck as an excuse. Luck does not choose winners. Winners create moments that look like luck to others. I remember when I moved from Madeira to Lisbon at 12 years old. I cried almost every night. I missed my family so much that I could barely sleep. But every morning, I woke up and trained harder. Some days I played with injuries. Some days I played sick. And people called me lucky when I made it to sporting. That was not luck. That was sacrifice. You see, life rewards those who show up, not those who wait. If you keep knocking long enough, one door will open. And when it does, people will call it luck. But you will know the truth. People who depend on luck are the ones who prepare to quit when things get tough. That is why they love having a plan B, because it makes them feel safe. It gives them an excuse to stop when it becomes difficult. But if you always keep a backup plan for your dreams, you are already planning for failure. That is not realism, that is fear. If luck decides everything, then why does discipline always win in the long run? Why do the most consistent people always rise? Because life respects consistency more than chance. The harder you work, the luckier you become. You cannot control luck, but you can control your preparation. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control effort. You cannot control timing, but you can control persistence. That is how you win. If something is truly your dream, then believe that you are capable of making it real, no matter how unlucky you feel. You do not need luck when your mindset is stronger than your excuses. I tell young players all the time, do not blame luck for your situation. Blame your preparation, because luck may come and go, but preparation stays with you forever. I have played thousands of matches. I have won and I have lost. But I never said, I was unlucky. I always said, I must improve. That mindset is what changes everything. When you stop blaming luck, you start building control. People say, Cristiano, you make it sound simple. No, it is not simple. It is hard. It is painful. It requires every part of you. But it is worth it. Because at the end of the day, when you look back, you will not thank luck for your success. You will thank your hard work. You will thank your discipline. You will thank your belief that refused to die. I know that life does not always go as planned. But I also know that every time something did not go my way, it pushed me towards something better. Maybe that is what people call luck, but I call it destiny built through persistence. So, if anyone tells you, have a plan B because luck might not help you, tell them this. I do not need luck. I have commitment. Because commitment will always take you further than luck ever could. Inspired by Cristiano Ronaldo's mindset, not affiliated with him or his team. If this message inspired you, show your support. Like the video, subscribe for more motivational stories, and stay motivated.